Hey everybody, Jake and I would like to welcome you to our Wednesday night Google Hangout live stream training. We're going to be talking about a couple of different things tonight. It's going to be a busy, crazy, lots of notes. If you don't have a notebook and paper, you need to go get that now. You're also going to need this 90-day game plan and this weekly activity overview sheet. I emailed it to all of our personals, and if you don't have it, you need to reach out to them to get that. This is going to be very key to our business. Jake is going to talk about the Facebook training. He's doing some technical stuff right now in the office, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to do some overview items about the convention last week. I can't believe it's been a week already since we were there. It's kind of crazy. A week ago tomorrow night, we were learning about a brand new training system that Jake and I are phenomenally excited about. I'm going to go back, though, and talk about the convention a little bit. Many of you had an opportunity to watch it live stream. I was getting texts from a lot of you saying how awesome you thought it was. There were over 25,000 people watching online. I've heard varying amounts, but I'm going to go with the lower amount. Hi. But we are so incredibly excited. We've never felt like we were where we were supposed to be as much as we do right now. One of the things that I want to talk about is this wall behind us. It's pictures of our family, of our very close friends, and this is why a big part of why we are building our FGX business. The other reason for me is to get him out of painting. It's really hard work. It doesn't sound hard, but it's very physically taxing on your body. And I work a lot with him, and at the end of the day, after a long day, we're tired. So getting back to the convention, one of the very first things that we did as a group was a community stand. Some people went to an elementary school and painted. Some people put together dental kits for the kids that are a part of that school that they painted at. And I'm going to encourage all of you to serve in your community in some way, shape, or form. The thing that Jake and I love to do the most is go to Feed My Starving Children. It's an organization here, and 97 cents of every dollar goes back to feeding the kids that we're packaging food for. So it's really important for us. So find something that you're passionate about and you love serving and get involved and go do it. Really quick, if you did not see, we had the Farmers Market Pack, which was $199 and 100 points. And Forever Green is making that available for us through June 8th. And then the Summer All-Star Pack is going to be available through August 31st. And so those are both great deals. With the Farmer's Market Pack, you get kind of a sampling of almost everything. The only thing that's not in there is the 24-karat chocolate, which is a bummer because, seriously, it's really good. Ron is going to be hosting a call this Thursday, June 4th at 10:30 Mountain Standard Time, so make sure you're on that if you can. Guys, one of the things that I love about building our business is the recognition that you get. And FG Express has just issued new pins for everybody. If you're 1 star, you have a silver pin. It's got 1 diamond in it. If you're 2 stars, same thing, but with 2 diamonds on up. And so everybody was recognized at the convention this week, and I thought it was really awesome. And on Monday night, Jake and I earned the opportunity to go to a champagne dessert reception in Brad and Marcia Hager's room. And oh my gosh, it was like,
it was fantastic.
It was awesome. It was packed. And I'm telling you, if this is open again for a situation like this, you are not going to want to miss it. It was amazing. The food was delicious. The champagne was to die for. It served in the White House. I mean, really, Brad and Marcia pulled out all the stops. And then as we left, we got a gift. And so we got a CD called Can an Egg Fly? And I talked about this on Facebook. and hear a little bit. You need to get it and you need to read it. So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And then the thing that I'm super excited about, we bought 5 packs of these, but Brad and Marcia also gave us one of these packs. And it's CDs that are done by Brad. And then Stephen Thompson, I haven't had a chance to listen to his or Susan Walsh's CDs yet, but I'm looking forward to getting into those. But guys, I'm telling you, this is training that is going to really help you take your business over the top. Let's see. If you were at the convention or not, I would like you to sit down and write thank you notes to the corporate staff. They worked their butts off to make an amazing week happen for all of us, whether you were there or not. So if you need a list of people, message me on Facebook or send me a text and let me know and I'll get it to you. One of the cool things about being at these conventions is meeting people from all over the world. I mean, guys, we're in 212 countries. And so Jake and I got to meet this young couple, Thomas and Bridget, and they're from Austria. And they said they were going to put together not a 90-day game plan, but a 100-day game plan, and they were going to be 5-star at the end of that 100 days. And I don't have any doubts that they won't do that. Amazing young couple, 23 years old. I mean, really just kind of wet behind the ears, but they are so excited. And so, you know, I got a phone call today from Diane Mitchell, and she's made a ton of contacts, and I'm super excited for her. Do you want to see who this?
Yeah.
Send me the text message like crazy. So if you are not on Brad Hager's VIP email list, you need to be. And the address for that is Brad at Hager Marketing. It's HAGER marketing.com. In the subject line, it needs to say VIP email. And then in the body of the message, you need to give your name and your email address and let him know you'd like to be on the VIP email list. That's where you're going to get the weekly schedule for the calls that are going on. Every night of the week, there's something going on that you can plug into, or you can plug your new people into. Very professional, very to the point, and just amazing. You know, one of the things, I've had a really awesome time getting to know Marcia Hager, and we hosted an event for the people that are on our team. We rented a special suite overlooking the pond or the lake, they call it, at the Bellagio, and it was, I mean, just really, really amazing. You guys got to see all of our bathroom pictures because Nicole Diamond thought it would be a great idea because the lighting was so good. The room was unbelievable. I mean, just gorgeous beyond belief. And we had so much fun. We had snacks and we had beverages and we had a ton of time to talk. Troy and Nicole were there, and Brad and Marcia were there for a couple of hours, and it was just over the top. But one of the things that really kind of bummed me out a little bit, and I was talking back and forth with Marcia about this, is that I feel like we're kind of a year behind this training. Jake and I are so excited about it because it's so duplicatable. And Marcia said, you know, Jane, there's an old proverb that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and vice versa. And Jake and I are ready, and I hope you're ready. We hope you're ready.
Right.
You know, it's we're so flippin' excited about this. It's just over the top. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. Jake is going to talk about the Facebook training. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that, like, I'm pretty sure he's taken at least 25 pages of notes. And we've listened to it 3 or 4 times now.
Right.
And every time we listen to it, there's something new that one of us catches out of it. So we were painting today, and while we were painting, we were listening to the Facebook training. We came home, Jake listened to parts of it again. So make sure you listen to it, get your notebooks out, and take copious notes. But Jake, go ahead.
All righty. Well, thank you, Jane. Great job. Thank you, everybody, for getting on this live stream. Now, there seems to be a little confusion. Some people went over to the call thing, but this whole thing is being recorded and will be a YouTube video that you can reference at any time. So first of all, let me just kind of set what the parameters are here. Jane and I are really excited. And the bigger picture here is the 90-day game plan as set up by Brad Hager. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this weekly at this time. And the 90-day game plan it averages out, or it adds up to be 12 weeks. So every week we will be doing a live stream, giving our numbers, how we're doing this, and I'm going to go more into that training in a little bit. And you know, there's a little bit, go ahead.
Transparency.
Yeah.
Guys, we're not going to ask you to do anything we're not doing.
No, we're doing this.
We're doing it right here with you. I need to email something to somebody real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, and then just look on the big computer. The picture looks pretty good. Okay. We're trying to do this, you know, we're learning this as we go along, and there seems to be a little confusion, and some people don't have these documents. We will make sure you get these. They are sent out by Brad Hager with his VIP list, and you can get on that for free. It's all free. But let me just back up a little bit. I'm really excited about this Brad Hager training because it's so direct. It's so doable. The guy has, you know, he's brilliant, but he has that common touch. He has a great sense of common sense. It doesn't cost any money for the training, which I like for our team, because, you know, we were in a previous company where money could be spent left and right on tools and materials. All this stuff is accessible on the internet. The only thing you even had for sale were these CDs, and they're good, but, you know, my point is, you know, this is just great. I just feel at home here, and I know we can run with it. And anybody who was there, I know 9 of you were there at the training he did on Thursday night after the whole thing was done. You guys got on fire. You guys bought the CDs. I mean, it was just phenomenal. So I want to reiterate a couple things. First of all, we posted this thing on Facebook training, but it is so good, and it's so clear, and it's so direct, and we're going to implement that for ourselves, and we hope you guys do too. Now, I hope you listen to the Facebook training there. You know, the link is there, and it's a little long. And as I posted on there, the training, I don't know what happened with the recording that's posted, but the actual event doesn't start until 20 or 22 minutes into it. So if you turn it on, you're going to have to fast forward with that slider till you get to 22 minutes. But just to kind of recap the Facebook training, first of all, he talked about setting your settings in Facebook so everybody can see your page. You don't want to just have friends. You want everybody to see your page. But another setting was that nobody can post on your page or tag you or you know, do a tag thing on your page without your permission. And the reason for that is, he said, imagine you have this beautiful store and all of a sudden somebody comes in and sets up, you know, just a little stand and start selling hot dogs in it or something. He says, you know, you got to protect your site, and you have to make sure you control the information there, and other people can't post from other MLMs or whatever, or, you know, even people that might be friends of yours might post something that's not appropriate. So there's a little bit of discipline here. So let everybody on your page, you know, you want people to come to it. The other thing he talked about, and I thought this was interesting, it's really smart, is you have a limit of 5,000 friends. So work towards getting that 5,000. Now, I got to say, you know, I've got like 800 or 900 friends, and that's
1,500.
Okay, but this is after how many years? You know, oh, fine, Jane. But the point is to get to 5,000, because he said then if you post something, you're reaching more people, and it makes sense. You know, why not have as large a thing as possible? Now he cautions again, don't start just friending everybody left and right, or people you don't know, or you'll get shut down from Facebook. So within the training, he has some guidelines, like don't do more than 15 people at a time, but I'll let you listen to that, because otherwise you can get bumped off of Facebook, or you can get shut down for a period of time depending on how bad. Yeah,
you get the timeout.
Yeah, you get like a timeout. And that's not good. But the idea is to reach 5,000 people. And he says, and don't friend his friends, because he says, I'm already reaching them. He says, you're going to really tick me off if you go after my friends. But he had a lot of good points. Like, for example, if you say you want to have an international business, you could type in the search bar where you would normally just put someone's name searching for a friend. You could put in MLM Peru, and then people will come up. And then start liking what they do. Start putting likes on there, and in time open a conversation, ask them to be friends. The 5,000 friends thing isn't something you're going to be able to do, or I'm going to be able to do overnight. it's something it's going to take a long-term thing, and Brad's been in the business a long time, has a lot of contacts, but it does make sense. The more friends you have, the more people will see your posts, and the more will go on. So the other things too, he mentioned in this Facebook training, this is just a recap, and please, listen to that. It's a longer session, but it's well worth it. It will really just get you going. You have to decide the purpose of your site. I mean, if it's a business site, if you're using it to build your business and reach people, then make that decision to do that. And let me tell you something, because I really thought, Brad has gone all-star. He's a top earner in the company. I thought he had brought a lot of people over. But we were sitting in this room, and, those of you who are with us, this was amazing. He asked somebody, he says, how did we first meet? And they said, well, on Facebook. Did you know me before then? No. How did we meet? These are people, international people. You and I can do this. He just met people on Facebook, developed a conversation with them, developed a relationship, and from that, he built up the ability to get them in FGX. Now, I was just blown away, because I just thought, well, he brought over 20,000 people from his old company. Well, he didn't. He probably brought some over, but what he did, person after person after person who was like 5 or 6 star in his downline, he just got them in the last year through Facebook.
Right.
He said he has only done, what is it, in this whole year, like 3 or 5 meetings with people.
Yeah, if even that. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, having meetings is not necessary. I mean, he said, he was sending out these links, and we'll talk about them. And this guy called him and said, I want to have a meeting. And he goes, no, I've had the same blue shorts on for 5 days. I ain't changing out of them for you. And he said, I mean, those were his words. And so, Brad and Marcia are amazing. I mean, they've made millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it's time for us to just grab a hold of this and run.
Well, and here's the great part, because it's working for him. Now, you might still want to do meetings. We're still doing meetings, but he made it with doing almost no meetings all the way to being the top earner in the company. And he has a very, studied style about him. He's not pushy. He's not, flashy or, blowhard kind of style. But I want to bring this up too. We've got some friends here. They're in Hayward, Wisconsin, Andrew and Nancy Burling, and they were 3-star for the longest time. They were stuck. And I mean, these people have done network marketing for like 23 years themselves. So they were stuck, and they didn't even know Brad Hager. And they went with his training system, and in a very short time, they went from 3-star
weeks.
To 6-star. And if you were with us when Jeff Graham was here, they received their pin level at that event. There was a special ceremony for them. So this is training well worth looking into, because we've been in the business. I haven't been in it that long, but I've been in it about 5.5 years. But I've never seen anyone being able to train and give such clear and unambiguous advice where you can move so quickly. So Jane and I are all in with the Brad Hager thing. Now, if there's some confusion, Brad is the very top person in our tree for everybody who's watching this. So it's not like, and we're working with Troy, and Troy loves Brad. I mean, we are, it's not like we have jumped to another line or something. This is all within the tree. Our line of sponsorship. Because someone asked me that too. I said, well, who's Brad now? And I explained to them that Brad is the very top guy in our actual tree. So for everybody watching, we're all part of the Brad Hager team. We just didn't really observe it until now. So getting back to the Facebook training, I digressed a little bit, but he talks about having a good cover photo, and he says, don't put FGX all over your page. You want it to be a mystery what you're doing. And the reasoning was, if they see FGX, they're just going to look that up online. But if they see that, hey, I'm in a company in 212 countries, this is just so easy to do, it's easy to make money, people are, it's just with great products, then they're going to ask you, well, what are you doing? And then you can open a conversation. But if they see FGX, and if you go to his site and you go to some of the other sites, I did some research, even of people of other companies, it's like they don't put their name, the company name all over it. Now, this is like a big thing, big shift for Jan and I, because the prior company, we had the company name on the cars and on everything. We're wearing T-shirts or clothes that were branded. He doesn't do that. And it's almost easier because then you can open a genuine conversation with someone, and then you can steer it towards the opportunity with, Forever
Right.
Green or FGX. So that, getting back to the cover photo and the profile picture, put something inspiring on, put something that's about you or that shows your dreams. Someone that is successful, if they go and look at your page after you've been liking them in a foreign country or here, they'll go, wow, that person looks really classy. That person looks like they're on the move. That person looks like they're making it happen. He said 2, post pictures. If you had pictures taken with other leaders and other companies, just put those pictures up. We're going to go back and find pictures that we had with leaders of our prior company. I mean, they're legitimate pictures. We're going to put them up. People go, oh, that, they might say, how do you know so-and-so? How do you know so-and-so? It's just going to open a conversation. It's a business. You got to kind of change. I mean, for me and Jane,
it's a big mindset change,
we have had to shift our thinking big time on this. He said too, get all this together, put posts on Facebook, but he says don't put posts on every 15 minutes. Don't put on more than 2 a day about your thing. He says, because then people come back to look for what you said and they can't find it because it's buried under 10 other posts. And he said, every post should end with a call to action. A call to action would be, hey, we're in these countries. It should be like, PM or inbox me for more information, or here's a link to this or that, or I'd like to send, whatever. I'd like to send you a link to this video or something. He said, don't post the info pack information, which we'll talk about a little bit, or don't post your phone number or the phone number of the event or the web address. Make them contact you
for the information.
Before they would see a webinar with us or whoever's doing it. That way you're developing you get their contact information, you can follow through with them. And he said, do this all before you start contacting people, this Facebook stuff. Get your Facebook page in order. He had a great analogy. He said, otherwise it's like you're opening a restaurant and you don't have the table and chairs. So get your Facebook page together, figure out the posts, figure out the purpose of your page, get your cover photo. Now for me, I'm using my existing page, so it's kind of in construction. And, because that's where all my friends are at. I don't want to you can start a new page and maybe you want to do that. Then you got to start from scratch on the friends. And that's a long-term game there too.
You can also friend request the people that you're currently friends with if you're going to start a new page. Yeah. And you can send them a message and let them know you're starting a business page and you'd like them to be your friend.
Right.
So you can do it, but Jake doesn't have a lot of stuff about FG Express on his page unless I've tagged him in something. But
and we're proud of the company. That's not the point.
We just want to create mystery. You want people to ask you questions.
Yeah.
Jake said I suck at mystery because I just blab everything, but I just get really excited. But you do want to set up some mystery because then people will ask you questions.
So I think I've covered pretty much everything because we talked about, getting friends, like other people's stuff, start getting in the habit. Now this is a little bit of a part-time job now. I mean, you're like, when you're on Facebook, you're not just going to be idly looking at your friends and reading all their stuff. You're also going to spend a little time, making connections with people in other countries, people that are, in other MLMs, or people that look like they're successful, or, people in business. Think of whatever you can in that search bar, like, entrepreneur Brazil or entrepreneur. I mean, just think of, I don't have all the answers. This is all new to us too. So we're like writing up categories, but then, you can either be their friend or start liking their stuff before you're their friend. But that is the thrust of the Facebook thing, the Facebook training. And I'm just giving it in a nutshell, but please listen to it. And the thing is, his big things are, don't start putting your phone number on or phone numbers of, a call. They need to reach you so you have their contact information and then say, yeah, the call's going to be, or inbox me for the call. That takes your conversation to a new level.
Right.
I talked about the search features, the info pack. We're going to post that. It's a website that Brad has, and he uses that as a tool. After you've started the conversation, you don't start spamming people with this website, but the info pack has videos, information about the business, and it leads back to you so that you can build your business. So, this is we're doing what other people have done to make money, because we're in this thing, you know, to be successful. We love all you guys, and it was just such a terrific time in Vegas. I mean, meeting everybody, and it's like one of the highlights of my life, honestly, you know, to have done that and then to be there. So now we're going to talk about the 90-day training, and apparently some of you don't have these sheets. First of all, Jane has the information on how to get, I thought I saw them right there.
Oh.
I think you've been writing on them. Yeah.
Oh no, that's on the back.
Okay, well anyway, we got them here. But the point is, how do they get on the VIP list? Let's start that first.
I already said it, I'll say it again.
Okay.
Brad at hagermarketing.com.
Mm-hmm.
In the subject line, you put VIP email list. In the body of your email, you put your name and your email address and ask Brad to be added, or to add you to his email address. Guys, I'm going to tell you, we were invited to go to a training on Thursday night from 7 to 10. Like, our brains were fried. Mine was, for sure.
And we were tired. I mean, this is at the end of the convention, you know,
right.
along with other people from our team were there. So, and I know everybody, you know, it would have been easy to duck out, but.
So we had, I think there were between 75 and 100 people there. And we had 9 people from our team in that meeting. And I think that is going to be the stepping stone of change for our team. When we were filling this out, I realized we were not even beginning to scratch the surface of our potential, Jake and me. I mean, and so Brad and Marcia put this together. I mean, guys, they had $27 million. And, you know, I like to be able to say to people, my contact is now, hey, listen, you know what? I'm working with some multimillionaires, and we are going to be teaching people how to create that same type of income with a business that we're involved in together. I'd like to get you some information. Can I get your email address? And
that's a good point, Jane, because, you know, it was, here we've been in this business how long? And, you know, for me, 5.5 years. And it was the night I was in their suite, Marcia said, you lead with the opportunity, not with the product. Now, okay, so I just learned this in the last 10 days or less. And Andrew Burling and Nancy, who went from 3-star to 6-star, said they did the same thing. They asked their people, what are you doing? And this is what we were doing. So I'm not giving anybody a hard time. But he said, what are you doing? And the team all said, well, we're walking up to people and saying, are you in pain? You know, I'd like to put a power strip on you. And that's what we've been doing. And he said, no, you lead with the opportunity, and we'll get some more information out to you about this. But this is another massive shift. And this helped them succeed. This has helped Brad and Marcia succeed. And we want you to succeed. And this is going to help us. You start out looking for people who are looking for an opportunity. Then you introduce them to the power strips and how great it is. If someone's not looking for an opportunity, because they had a good point. They said, well, if someone doesn't like the product or isn't interested in the product, then you can't really talk about the opportunity. But if you talk about the opportunity first, then you can introduce them to the product and they'll be more open to it. You're going to be attracting people who want to make money. And like he said, you know, only 3 out of 7 or 3 out of 10 people are even interested in opportunity. So you have to look at it like some people are 7s. You know, he called the people that aren't interested 7s, right, and the people that are interested 3s. So, and you know, we're throwing a lot of information at you, and it might not be the most you know, organized or in a note way, but you could, this is being recorded, you can play it again, and we will be posting this on our team page. And I think if we can get links to these documents, we will post that too, so that you can just download it.
Well, I've emailed it to all of our personally sponsored people. You guys should all have this document in an email that I sent you today. If you don't have it, let me know.
Okay, but we want to get this in your hands.
Right.
So there's no, you know, so we'll start with the first one. And this is what you do when somebody gets into the business. Well, actually, that's not here. That's the one about when people get started, you go over their goals and everything like that. So I'll save that for another time, so we set this up for the 90-day game plan. So the 90-day game plan is for you and for people who have been in maybe for a little bit and they've set up their goals, but you don't hit them necessarily with this right away, Brad said. You let them get their feet wet a little bit. And then you come up to them and say, hey, You know, this is a great thing. Now we're starting this 90-day game plan for ourselves on, what is it, June 7th, that's Sunday. The worksheet goes from Sunday through Saturday. And anybody on our team who wants to do this with us, we highly encourage it. You know, we're not going to pressure anyone, but if you're ready to do this and make money, you know, sink or swim. I mean, you're not going to sink, but I mean, you know, some weeks you might not have your numbers the way you want them to be, and other weeks you'll excel. Same thing with Jane and I. You know, we're in the painting business. I'm very, very busy, but what's funny is I worked hard the last couple of days. I've got more energy now thinking about this than I do on days where I work a partial day and, you know, take a nap or something like that. I mean, this is fantastic. So the 90-day game plan is just basically an outline of what you're going to do the next 90 days. You know, it has your name, your phone number, and all that in there, your current PIN level, whatever it is, and where you want to be in 90 days. So put that down. Jane and I want to be 5-star in 90 days. Right. That's our stated goal. Your current income, you know, in FGX, and where you want to be 90 days from now. You know, this thing is really quite simple. And then you'd write down the number of people you enrolled and, you know, how many you want to personally enroll in 90 days. Not your whole team, but just what you personally signed up. Right. So, and then the number of people in your whole team, you know, even the people you didn't sign up there in your downline, and what you want, you know, in 90 days. So, but then when it gets to brass tacks, you know, it says too, how many people do you want on your team at the next event? Well, you know, I wrote down a pretty good sized number because it's going to be a year from now. I think 120 people in our whole large team will be there. Not that we're bringing everyone, all those 120 people, but you guys will be bringing people, we'll be bringing people. So, I mean, I think 120 is a realistic number for a year from now. And, you know, you guys got to, you got to stretch a little bit, but, you know, make it something you know you can do, but, you know, and then add a little more. So, and then here's like the business exposures. And this was interesting. You know, how many sample packs will you give out per day? Now, maybe you don't want to give out sample packs. A lot of people built their business without giving out power strips. If you're leading with the opportunity, you know, then you're going to be approaching people differently, but you still want to have the sample packs and give them to them if they're interested in the opportunity. So how many per day times 90 days equals whatever it is. You know, online info packs, that's directing people to that website, but it doesn't mean spamming people and say, hey, here, blah, 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 look at this. I mean, someone spammed me from another company just last week, and it was, you know, I realized how, you know, I mean, it was well intended. It was for this company that just merged with another company, and I had not talked to this person, I don't think, ever, or maybe just hi at a convention years ago, and suddenly it was check this out or something like that, or this is good, and then a link to a video. And I thought, wow, you know, being on the receiving end of that,
it didn't feel good.
No, and it, you know, it was just like, well, why would I, you know, why would I do that? I mean, you really got to put yourself in the prospect's seat or point of view. You know, I mean, if, you know, I thought, wow, you know, I guess, yeah, maybe I've been guilty of that myself sometimes. It could be. But, you know, having received that, I thought, you know, you really have to have a connection with someone before they're going to listen to you. If you just hit them with something like that, well, what are the odds that, oh yeah, I'll get on that video and I'll join your company, because, you know, it's ludicrous. It's so small. So getting back to the online info pack, and we'll give you that website address. You don't just send that to people. You have a conversation first, and if they're interested in the opportunity, that's how you first show them the opportunity.
Hey, can I get your email?
Yeah.
You've got their information. They don't, you know what I'm saying? So you always want to get their information. Do not ever give somebody your business card and say, give me a call sometime.
That's not going to happen.
They're not going to call you, and you've just lost that contact. So you get their information.
But here's the great thing about the online info pack for people that don't, you know, are a little less confident about talking. That thing does all the work for you. It shows it shows how it works. It shows what the product. Yeah. There's a video, and you can check it out before you send it to someone, but it's good. So I would feel confident sending that to somebody and then following up, hey, how did you like that? You know, this is a way to do it. And, you know, all this stuff is accessible now. It's free. It's not like you got to buy something. This is what I like about the guy. He's so generous and so giving. And he spent time with Jane and I, even though.
A ton. I mean, guys, he wants our success.
Yeah, he wants all of us. Yeah. Then how many Facebook posts per day? Maximum of 2.
No, conversations.
No, post here.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, 2 times 9 is 100. So then you have the number of exposures go here. So for example, if you're doing 2 Facebook posts a day, that's that's 2 exposures times 90 days, 180. So you write all these numbers down on here, and how many prospecting phone calls per day, how many Facebook conversations.
the Facebook conversations, I just want to touch on that quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you've been maybe going back and forth liking somebody's post and they've liked yours, and then you can send them a post, hey, it looks like you're really interested in business. What exactly do you do?
Right.
They tell you, oh, because, I'm bringing a really big, huge business opportunity. We're in 212 countries. If you're interested, I'd like to get some information to you. Yeah, great. Here's my email. That's what a Facebook conversation is. So it's a brand new conversation with somebody that you're not necessarily friends with.
And it's going to take a little lead time. So, I mean, you got to start with this friending new people or liking people that you don't know after doing a search on Facebook. So there's a little lead time. You're kind of planting seed before you can harvest a Facebook conversation. Might take a couple weeks, but get started now so the thing starts to build and snowball, because you just don't know, who else, you're going to run into or who they know. So, alrighty, let's take a look at some of the other things. 3-way calls with your upline, 3-way calls with your downline. We need to start using those. We need to start, they're very effective. They have not been, in the lines of sponsorship we've been in with both companies, 3-way calls were not really a feature. Yeah, they were not promoted.
Promoted, yeah.
So, we're going to work with that and figure your phone out how to do a 3-way call, practice with one of your friends or practice with Jane or I, so we know how to do it. And so you're able to do it on your phone. But, when you bring in a third person that has a very strong persuasive effect. And talking to the Burlings, they started doing 3-way calls, and more people got in. So if you're having a conversation with someone, say, hey,
and
would you mind if we set up a call and I brought in my friend Jake or I brought in my friend Jane, they know a little more, and then you can just step back and let us talk, and we can keep it short, 5-10 minutes, whatever they're comfortable with. Go ahead,
the one thing that you want to do if you're going to ask somebody to do a 3-way call for you or with you is make sure that you have some information about them so that you can edify them. So for instance, if we were going to have Brad do a 3-way call with us,
oh, that's good. This is a very good point. Yeah.
We'd say to that person, once Brad was on the call, Brad's one of our business partners. He and his wife have helped 12 people become millionaires, and they've created an income in this business of over $27 million. They have business all over the world. They're amazing, amazing friends. They're so skilled at this. Brad's created a training system that's just helping people all over the world create tremendous amounts of income. And then Brad's going to talk, and he's so good at this. Let's say you're talking, you have Susie Q. I have to pick my dog up. Let's say you have Susie Q on the line, and Brad will say, so Susie Q, one of the things that's really important, he addresses that person by name. And so he's a master. I mean, seriously, when you hear him do these calls, he is absolutely incredible. So you just want to make sure that you have just a little bit of a bio about the person who's going to do your 3-way call so that you can edify them.
Lift them up.
To the other person. So make sure you have that information. And if you don't have it, ask for it before. You don't want to ask for it 5 minutes before your phone call.
Right. That's a very good point. And, a lot of this, we're all shifting gears. I mean, a lot of this is new for Jane and I. I feel in a way we're not really starting over, but we're adding a huge new direction to the company, to our business and your businesses. And it works because we met so many people there who have gone 5 or 6 star or more in this business in a very short period of time, like since October, November. So I thought, well, why not?
Why not us?
Yeah.
Right.
So
why not you?
And then he says, how many one-on-ones per week? Now, some of this, if Brad himself doesn't do one-on-ones, but he put that if you want to do one-on-ones, we're doing a one-on-one Saturday, we're actually meeting 3 people because they want to meet and they're from a different culture, and you know, I want to get to know them. I don't want it just to be a Facebook or an internet thing. They're people in the Twin Cities, and I want them to look in my eyes and see, you know, I'm for real. So, but whatever you do, and then how many guests will you, or how many business meetings? But I think the meetings, he doesn't do home meetings. And, you know, I look at home meetings, I said to Jane today, I said, you know, they're really onerous for the person hosting the meeting. They have to have their home clean. And then people are reticent to come to a meeting. You know, it's like, well, whose house is it? How long am I going to be there? So I'm not against home meetings, but we're not going to emphasize them. We're going to emphasize this working on Facebook, you know, still meeting people in public, like you're pumping gas or whatever, and you meet someone, hey, are you looking for an opportunity? Meet someone sharp, whatever. And there's other training from Brad that you can find online, or I can direct you to on that. But, you know, I just think the way to go is like the one-on-ones and the Facebook training, and, you know, contacting people that way. If he can build, you know, he's a top earner. If he can build that just by being on Facebook, then I think, wow, there is something there. And you know, it's cool. You know, I'll be honest, we even paid for Facebook training back in November. We paid like $250. And then I bought another Facebook training thing for like $89. And it just is nothing. I mean, it's just all smoke and mirrors and stuff. And this is like the best after reviewing it, you know, because I'm checking these things out. This is like totally free. So be sure to listen to that link, because you're take it from me, a guy who likes studying things and learning things. I just thought, man, you know, we've got it all here right now. So what the point is, then you total all these up, and it says how many exposures. And then you look at your downline, and if everybody's doing this, and you draw all these circles out, and, you know, I wish I could do a graphic of this, but he did. He started drawing out circles. And he said, what if your team only had 20 people? Well, the average person, when they fill this out, their numbers were between 2,000 and 4,000 exposures. Well, he said if you have 20 people in your team and they're all doing this 90-day game plan.
10 on each leg.
Yeah, 10 on each leg. You have then, you know, 20 times 2 is 40,000 exposures, or 80,000 exposures. Now, you know, maybe not everybody's going to do it, but the power of numbers. If you get everybody in on this, or you even get 5 or 6 people and they do 4,000. Well, 6 times 4 is 24,000 exposures with your team. What's that going to do? What's that going to take you to? I mean, I thought, wow, you know, if you get excited about this like we are, and we're here to help you on this, you know, there's going to be bumps in the road. I'll be honest. There's going to be times where, you know, we're still trying to figure things out. But if you're exposing your business that much, you know it's going to grow. Because think of the people you've gotten in now and how many exposures you really did to get to that point. And then you figure, like, even just 24,000, you know, with your team, that's only 3 people left, and, you know, it's 6 of you. It's like 3 on one leg and 2 on the other, and you're doing it. Man, I mean, you are going to grow. Yeah. I mean, it's just no doubt about it. And it's so doable. It doesn't require an investment in anything that you don't already have. That's what I love. It's not like you got to go out and buy some training system or some expensive internet thing, or you got to buy, you know, a new laptop or something that has a better processor. I mean, this is so incredible, and it's so generous of him, and that he deserves to be the top earner in the company. I mean, and, you know, he's a good man, and I like him too, because, you know what? He's got very strong core beliefs, but he doesn't wear them on his sleeve.
Right. Okay, guys, I want to show you something really quick. 90-day game plan. You write it all down.
You have to fill it out. Yeah, that's the power of the thing. Yeah.
Fill it out. Okay?
Don't just look at it. That's a good point, Jane.
Now, a lot of you know this. My very, like, one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Galatians 6:9. It's right up here. Be weary not in the well-doing, for in due time you shall reap what you sow. The other one is Habakkuk 2:2 and 3. It says, write down your vision. Write it in bold block letters so that you may see it while you're on the run. And if it doesn't come, be patient and wait. It's coming. It's going to come right on time. This training came right on time.
Right.
You have to write your goals down. It says it in the good word. I'm telling you, write your goals down. If you don't have them written down, they're just a wish.
Right.
So you need to know what you're working towards and have it be accountable. And, you know, Brad said, you know, he was on a diet.
Oh,
And
this is good, yeah.
He said, you know, they went to the grocery store and they bought all this really good food.
And he made a decision to do the diet, yeah.
And he made a decision to do the diet. And he came home.
Yeah, he had the inventory from the grocery store. He had everything.
He had everything ready to go. And the first day, he didn't manage his decision very well. He didn't eat what he was supposed to eat, and he didn't drink what he was not supposed to drink. So that some of you have seen me post a little bit, manage your decision, and that's where that came from. And you know, you don't have to be brilliant, but you open your ears to smart things that people have to say.
Yeah, so if you make the decision to do this, that's terrific, but then you have to manage the decision and choose to do it. The second sheet, I just want to go over this quick because, you know, this is getting to be about 45 minutes or more, but we're almost done, aren't we?
Yep.
This is the second sheet, and we'll make sure you all get this. This is a daily sheet, and he said, you know, the temptation is for people to fill it at the end of the week. But if you're going to be in this, I want you to be accountable, and it shows what did you do every day? You know, how many, you know, contacts did you make? How many Facebook posts? How many conversations? How many, you know, all the things that we listed here on the 90-day game plan are in the weekly activity report and overview. So, you know, that is a way to keep you accountable. We will be going over our numbers, and, you know, I mean, we are so excited about this, but there'll be days I realize, you know, something will come up or whatever, and I'll just say, well, I had a big fat 0 that day, or 2 days in a row. But then other days we got to catch up and make up on that.
Right.
But, you know, I just think, I mean, I am just so excited because everybody's got what they need, how to do this. No, it's nothing special. You don't have to go out and buy some internet tools, or, I mean, this is just so cool.
You know, the other thing too that Brad talks about in that 90-day game plan at the very end, do you have enough product on hand? Make sure you have samples. Make sure you have the sample bags.
Yes.
The new packaging is over the top. I'm so excited about the new packaging that came out this past week at the convention. Guys, FG Express is pulling out all the stops for us. It's time for you to pull out all the stops for yourself and your family. There's a lot of people that need to get free, and we want to help you do it. So if you want to be accountability partners with Jake and me, you need to send us a private message or text one of us and let us know. And we'll expect to hear from you every week. You know, and Brad said if somebody wants to be mentored by him, he says, for 30 days, you need to call me and let me know what you did for the day. And he said, here's how it usually goes. First day, I get a text or a call. Second day, I get a call. Third day, I get a call. Fourth day, no call. Fifth day, I get a call. Sorry, I got busy. I forgot to call you yesterday. But you know what? He says it. If you don't respond every single day, he's not going to be your mentor.
Right.
Guys, you're just doing what you said you'd do. And so, and that's follow-up. Follow-up is simply doing what you said you'd do. So,
right. Yeah, but for us, we're not asking you to check in every day. We're saying we'll do this once a week, and we'll check in it that way, because that's how we're going to do it, because you're busy, we're busy. I don't want to have a lot of overhead work you have to do on top of the contacting. So we're doing this as guides and mentors to help you get there. You're going to have to do it yourself. It's kind of an honor system thing. If you're going to do it, that's cool. But we really want you to join us and get going on June 7th. That's the start of the 90 days. It's going to be a great time. And what else can I say?
I know. Yeah. We're super excited. My phone is lit up like crazy, so I'm sure that I've gotten messages from a lot of you. But, you know, guys, we feel really, really super thankful to have Troy and Nicole and Brad and Marcia working with us to teach us what we need to know to help you guys do what you need to do so we can build this together. So,
and we're so proud of you guys, all of you, the people that came to convention, the people that couldn't come to convention but wanted to. I mean, we're proud of all of you. I mean, it's a real effort, and you're in the best possible company. We've heard rumors of products coming down the pike. I mean, this is going to be so big. It's just a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. But we need to wrap it up.
Yeah. So you guys, thanks for joining in. If you will, either text us or send us a private message. We can't tell who's on the live stream tonight.
Yeah.
So send us a message and let us know you were on. We're anxious to hear your feedback, and have a super night tonight.
Yep. And it's recorded, so you can play it back later if you want.
Yep. So thanks a lot for hopping on, you guys.
Yep.
We appreciate it, and have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Yep.